Hello, everyone. This is Ron from ZinoNation. I think it's episode 27. I forget these things or whatever.
28, brother.
28, 20. And we don't count
28.
the non-Muddy Night ones as episodes, where so we do a special one on Wednesday morning, whatever. That doesn't count. So episode 28. I'm here with my regular co-host Marcus Crawford and our special guest Bryan Singleton from True Drone Reviews tonight. And we've got an exciting show tonight. We're going to get into the Zino Pro. Bryan has it. He got in last week. He's got several videos up on our way. He's reviewed it. He's test flown it. We're going to dive into that. And then for a little change of pace, we're going to talk about a new app we've all been playing around with called Mixcam. It's an iOS app that allows you to use the front camera and the front-facing and the rear camera at the same time. So it's an interesting app. It's affordable. We're going to discuss that a little bit. And then we're going to finally kind of finish up with the Mavic Mini. When will it ship? When can you expect it? That type of stuff or whatever, because it's a lot of confusion in the community over that. And let's start the ship. I'm going to go everybody talk a little bit. But the first thing we're going to show, I got a box in the mail today over here. Look at the battery thing on it. Did I get the Mavic Mini in today?
Well, who knows?
Minutes. I'm going to throw it to my co-host, Marcus Crawford, who's recovering from the world's worst cold.
Yeah.
What he's been up to.
So actually, I'm finally starting to feel halfway human again. And so today, I actually got out and got to fly some drones. I flew the drone that originated with Bryan, went to Ryan Duvall, and then Ryan Duvall sent it to me, the H78G. So I'll throw out a little video on that. A little GPS drone, it actually flew pretty good. And I don't know, Bryan, I thought it was, when it was just hovering, it was as steady as the Zino.
Yeah, I gave it a good review. I didn't, knock it or anything like that, but I didn't do any kind of crazy stuff with it. I kept it in that park. I don't think I went more than, 250 feet with it.
That's about all it's good for. I found out the hard way.
Yeah. That's about as far as I went with it. So
yeah. But anyway, so then obviously that drone has to move on someplace else, and I need to figure out where it's going to go next. But in any case, then I did fly the Anafi today too, and it's the first time I've tried it with that new app and racer mode. Oh boy, that racer mode is freaking fun.
Yeah, you mean the updated app?
Yeah.
It's the same app, and they just updated it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
In that racer mode, I mean, it tilts and banks like you're flying an airplane. It's freaking cool.
Yeah, I saw it on there. I didn't try it yet, but I'm planning on it.
Yeah. So, hey, it's your turn, Bryan. What's going on?
Zino Pro. Okay, and here it is. Right there.
You've seen it here first on ZinoNation.
Right. Here first. Okay. So I'm just going to sit there and lay it out for you what I really think of it. Probably for 95% of people that have the regular Zino, I don't recommend buying it. I'll be honest with you. I don't really see a dime's worth of difference in this thing as the regular Zino. It has the more range. But, I mean, in all seriousness, 95% of the people, how far do they need to really use this? I think 1,700 feet is the most I've been with the regular Zino. Okay, 1,700. That's as far as I've went out. I couldn't see it. I can't see 1,700 feet away, quadcopter up in the sky. I mean, so like I said, most people, the vast, vast majority of people are not going to get any benefit out of having the Zino Pro over the Zino. Because most people that buy quadcopters don't do range tests and stuff like that. They just fly at parks and this types of things. Most people don't fly out thousands of feet and do those types of things.
You're absolutely right.
If most people did that, you'd see a lot more of this crap on the news of people running through airports and all this other crap. Most people don't do that stuff. Okay. That's the exception, not the rule. So, and the only other thing that it does that I can find is that it updates through the app. You don't have to do all that jimmy rigging around with the plugs and the putting the SD cards. That's what I'm seeing so far. Now, there's not an update, but there's a box on the app where it says check for updates.
Well, that's good to know.
Okay. Other than that, they fly exactly the same. You would never know if your eyes were closed, if you could fly closed, if you had a regular Zino or a Zino Pro. They do this. It does the same bobbing around, the crab walk. I said it in my video. You go straight and it veers off to the left or off to the right, just like the original. It does. I don't know if you guys saw that video. I did that takeoff. You see that crazy ass takeoff? No, it didn't do that when I flew it with the auto takeoff. It doesn't do that. But the manual takeoffs can be a little bit hairy. Okay. So just like the regular one, they act exactly the same and they fly the same.
So the
exactly. So you cannot tell the difference whatsoever in the way they fly.
Right. So the only difference is the range.
Is the radio the transmission system is different. You know, it's like Hubson's version of OcuSync.
Right. Right.
Well,
right.
Hopefully, so I would say for a lot of maybe people that aren't used to doing updates and stuff, that update thing is probably a fairly significant thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. That other update thing is a pain. As a matter of fact, I'll never update my white Zino again.
You don't need to, right?
I'm at that 152 where they perfected the camera.
Right.
And I did it with the transmitter thing. Okay, I did it. They did that. So I'm not touching it now. It's done.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. I'm done with them updates with that.
It's fully baked.
Yeah, I'm finished.
I didn't do the because out of pure laziness, I didn't do the most recent update that Marcus did, and you're right. I if I don't have any troubles or whatever, I may never do that most recent update.
Now I didn't do the update after the 152 because when it came out, somebody said that it messed up the camera or something, and then they had to make another update after that to fix that. So I just never went past the 152. I'm stuck on that one. That's what I'm staying with that.
Right.
So the only reason I do them all is for just to show people what they do. That's
right.
Right.
Right. Right.
Totally agree with you.
Yeah, I do that on most things too, but I don't want to do it if it's going to screw up the quadcopter.
Right.
Well, I screwed mine up, then I rolled it back.
Right. Now, when we studied the specs on the Zino Pro, it sounded like they had a slightly different camera. Do you notice if the camera's any better in this one than the old Zino?
Well, so far, I've actually flown this thing 5 times. Okay. Even though I only made 2 videos, I don't make a video every time I go out and fly. You know, sometimes I just go fly just for the hell of it. You know, sometimes I don't even shoot video.
Right.
But I've actually had some issues with the camera with this thing. And I got a hold of Hubson and I talked to them about it, and they told me to change the memory card. Well, anyway, so a couple of times when I went out and flew it, the video was all blurry.
Huh.
It was nothing but a blur, you know.
Wow.
So I sent Hubson, the engineers, a little short video clip, and they supposedly they analyzed the video.
Oh, okay.
And said I had to have a better video card. Now, I used the same video card in there from the original Zino that I had, and never had an issue with that video card. I mean, I buy good video cards. I don't, micro SD cards. I don't buy, scraps, garbage, from the bargain bin. I buy the good ones.
Well, we know because we saw the video where you were at Best Buy buying.
We saw the Mixcam when you purchased that nice card.
Yeah, that card. Yeah, I buy decent ones.
Yeah.
So,
did you see what Josh said in the chat? Those 100 young engineers.
Yeah, right.
Now, so did the better memory card improve the video, or you have?
Well, I don't know because I haven't flown it since then. Yeah. But it's just, I don't know, man. I'm gonna see now. A couple of times I flew it. The video was beautiful. And another couple of times I flew with the video wasn't. So, but that's not something you want to have to deal with every time you go out and fly. Is the video going to work? You know, you don't want that. You want you want to know it's going to work.
Al's asking what card was it, Brian?
The one I had in there. Let me see. Just give me a second to find.
Go ahead. I'm going to shout chat room. Hey, Al, how are you tonight? Thanks for joining us, buddy. We got Parks and Techs in here with us. That's Josh with 100 engineers comments. How you doing? We got FSU grad in here. DeMarco's in here with us, one of our spin-up buddies. Who else is in here? The great Chris Hope is in here, another spin-up buddy of ours. How are you tonight? Chris is from the great state of Texas. We got Floyd Moats in here with us tonight. How are you, Floyd? We got Drone Life RC. How you feeling tonight? Drone Life, he's had the flu for a while. I hope he's feeling better. We got 3X Drones in here with us. Oh, we got Arco's Drone Solution. Hey, Art, did they ever get your apartment dried out? Art had a little leak in there from the snow and ice that they got in Denver last weekend. So I think I hit everybody in here, Marcus.
Yeah. Okay. So, Duranify is reminding me of the FEMI X8 SE, and I'm wondering if his is flying again. He had another little incident with it.
Here, Brian's got the card up. Let me see if I can get you bigger. That's got me bigger. That's the best we're going to do. So that is what
that is a PNY U1.
Okay.
But it worked great twice. You know, it worked great twice, and I've been using this on the Zino 1 from day one.
Right, that makes sense.
You know? But anyway, what the camera you were asking about the camera, to me, I don't see a dime's worth of difference in the quality of the video from the cameras. But I'm not a professional photographer either. It's a PNY 32 gigabyte U1. And I think the other one that I bought was a U10. So a U1 is definitely slower.
Right.
But like I said, I've had it in the original Zino from day one and have made 20 videos with it. Never had an issue. So,
I had camera issues. I had that light flash issue with my original Zino, and Marcus fixed me up, but he told me to use a 32 gig SanDisk U3, and I haven't had any issues with it since. So it can be fussy about memory cards. Floyd said you need a U3 in there.
Well, I think the bit rate on the Zino is only what, 50?
I kind of forget already.
I think it's 50 or 60.
Yeah, I think it may be 60.
Okay, so if I put one in that's 100 megabits per second, it should be no problem. You would think that should be fine. You know,
I always use a U3, Brian. On anything 4K or better, I use a U3.
Right. Is no such thing as there's no such thing as too fast of a card.
Right. I mean, I don't want them to send me another email back. The Hubson engineers saying, "Oh, the memory card's too fast." You know.
Yeah. Get a slower one. Hey,
get a slower memory card.
Guess who we have in the chat with us tonight? Ryan over at RD Drone Reviews.
Hey, what's up, Ryan?
The man who supplied Marcus with reviews for the next 6 months.
That's about it, too. Yeah.
Ryan says he uses SanDisk Ultra or Extreme. Ryan only uses the best stuff.
Yep. SanDisk are good. They're good. The Samsung cards are good.
Samsung, as I use both of those, the SanDisk
good.
and Samsung.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see next time I get it out, which probably this week. I'm not going to be able to fly much this week. I'm going to be
installing heaters.
Yeah, installing furnaces this week. So
right.
So it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it.
So just to summarize, if you don't own a Zino at all, go ahead and get the Zino Pro. But if you're already sitting on a Zino,
just keep it.
Yeah.
Just keep it. Yeah. Unless you want to do range tests, just keep the original.
Yeah, that's
not worth the. I mean, first you got to realize too, the Pro is more money. I mean, it's 100 or something, 100 and something more.
Right.
To get that range.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, guess who we have in with us, Marcus? Mike Wright, from who we met at Spin Up.
Oh,
He said,
yeah.
we did. Mike's in here with us.
Nice.
Mike says use the SamDisk Extreme Pro. But Mike,
I see it.
Mike lives in Texas. I forget. Where did he live in Texas?
Yeah, you're gonna put me on the spot, but he's an architect. I know that.
He's an architect. Mike's a big man down in Texas. You know,
Dallas Fort Worth.
Dallas Fort Worth. It was great meeting Mike. He's a
We
great
can remember that, Michael. I'm sorry, we could not flip and remember that you lived in Dallas Fort Worth. I mean, that's kind of pathetic, isn't it?
Hey, Mike, what's the score in that Cowboys game tonight? But anyway, back to regular scheduled programming here. So, any other thoughts on the anybody in the chat have a comment on the Zino Pro that they would like to ask Bryan about? A comment, a question? Who in chat plans on getting the Zino Pro?
Well, Parks and Tech has it right now. Parks and Tech. Josh has it in his hot little hands.
And no reviews yet, though?
I haven't seen a video yet, but I'm sure he'll have one coming out soon. You know he will.
Oh, yeah. Josh will put it through his paces, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, well, so then that takes us to the Zino 2, right? And those leaked pictures that we saw, were they leaked on purpose? I kind of have a feeling most of that stuff Parks and Tech says he canceled his order, so he doesn't have it.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought he had one. Okay.
He must have listened to Bryan.
Yeah.
Well, it's really not worth getting. I mean, it's just not.
Unless you don't own a Zino 1.
Right, unless you don't own a Zino 1. I mean, the range is nice if that's what you're into.
Yeah.
You know, if you're into that, then you definitely want it because it definitely has more range than the other one.
Right. Well, even if I'll let you tell the story in a second about the video about the guy not being able to go out the 4,000 meters, but even 2,000 meters would be nice if you could get twice as far as you could with the current Zino. That would be nice because you could definitely
Right. Well,
Yeah.
Well, I saw a video on YouTube, and I can't remember what the guy's name was, but he has some decent videos. He's a newer guy. He had less than 100 subs, but his videos were good. Well, he tried to do a range test with the Zino Pro, and he only made it past 2,000 meters because the battery was going to run low, and he had to turn around. Well, it automatically stopped and came back.
Yeah.
Because it was not going to come back if it went to 4,000 meters. So he made it to 2,200. And now, of course, I doubt if he was in sport mode because seemed like it was his first time doing it. So he might not have really been pushing it that hard, But,
yeah, so the algorithm
made it to 2,200 and it stopped and turned around and came back. Battery was too low to go any further. So
yeah, the algorithm says that hey, I need this battery to get home, and yeah.
So
the only thing about that is that doesn't always work.
Well, that's true.
That doesn't always work. I mean, look what happened to the drone bomb, and look what happened to Billy Kyle.
Yeah.
Right.
Because their drone doesn't know when it's coming, when it's going to turn around and come back. If the wind's going to be in its face, it doesn't know that. I don't think they've programmed all that stuff in there.
Yeah.
That's on the Mavic 5 or whatever. Yeah.
So DeMarco is asking, does sport mode work on the Zino Pro?
The question,
it has the sport mode. It's the same. It's the same thing. It flies identically.
Yeah, but it didn't work on the original Zino. I mean, that you could switch the switch; it didn't do anything.
Yeah, it does on this one.
Okay,
it does more. It just does more pitch.
Oh,
okay, yeah. Well, remember to clarify on the first Zino, when you from the factory, everything was set as high as could go, so it was always in sport mode.
Right,
it couldn't fly faster than it came out of the factory. So until they gave us what was the update, Marcus? Was it 1.5, 1 or whatever, where they let us slow down the yaw, the what do you call the three things when it lets you slow down
in the bank, yeah.
Then you were actually not flying in sport mode, but before then you flew in sport mode the entire flight. But what we all hope for is that you could dial into your settings. You want to keep them, and then the sport mode button would turn things back up again. But the young engineers never got to that point on the software.
Yeah, they were too busy looking at my video.
Right. They were too busy working on the Zino 2. Back to their Zino 2 things. What we've again, everything we're telling you is a bunch of rumors. Okay, we don't have any inside sources or facts. But somebody said that and more of a picture. It's a promotional thing where they list the Zino 2 specs. That was displayed at some kind of a toy show in China or Hong Kong for products upcoming. And from another source, I heard that again, I shouldn't say source. A guy on the internet, a guy I know on the internet.
It's Ostalev younger cousin.
Right? Yeah. It's not even that good. It's not even that good. Just a guy I talk to that's on the internet who doesn't work for any drone company, whatever. He told me that after the Chinese New Year's, we'll probably you'll probably see the Zino 2 appear on Hubson's website, and of course, then it'll be another month or two before it actually ships. But you probably won't see it officially on their website until after the Chinese New Year.
Right, and then after you order it from Banggood and they return it with 17 times, you'll finally get one. Yeah.
So you may have it by the 4th of July if you're lucky.
Oh, what a nightmare it was getting that thing, man! I'm telling you.
You're the
and the thing about it was, I was sitting there watching that DHL. Well, they had another custom stop. So they did the first custom stop over there in Singapore. So it went from Hong Kong to Singapore, sat in Singapore for about 8 days doing a customs check. Then it went to Los Angeles and then on to Cincinnati, which is one of their hubs for DHL. But then it got hung up there in Cincinnati for 2 days doing another customs check in Cincinnati. And I was sitting there worrying. I was like, oh, crap, it's right here. Cincinnati. I'll drive over and get it. Okay, just sit there. Don't move. Okay, don't send it back. Okay, I'm coming right over. But after a couple of days, it finally updated, and then it showed up. I was like, geez Louise.
Huh. Cool.
Now, I wanted to say something because I know, Ron, I left a comment for you. I think it was on Facebook about the Mavic Mini. Believe me, that Mavic Mini, when they drop that, DHL will send that to you from China overnight. You'll get it the next day.
So let me throw you
because listen, I've ordered, I think what I tell you, Ron, 7 things from the DJI store.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them son of bitches came overnight DHL the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, Brian, every time I order from DJI, it comes FedEx.
That's what I mean, FedEx.
Yeah.
Banggood and them do the overnight DHL stuff. Yeah, FedEx. It comes FedEx overnight. It'll come overnight all the way from China.
So let me tell you. So
even that microphone adapter came overnight from China.
Right. I just got today, I got a text from FedEx saying that I've got a package coming on Wednesday. The only thing I can think of, it's got to be that Mavic Mini.
That's what it is.
I've ordered it.
Right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, Billy Kyle got his he got his Mavic Mini today.
Yeah.
It showed up.
All the stuff I ever ordered from that DJI store, it came overnight. I mean, the next damn day. The next day I got it. So
well, you give us confidence. Well, let's back up on a story here. Last week on Wednesday, DJI finally announced the long rumored Mavic Mini, and all the rumors were true. So DJI was probably leaking this stuff themselves, or whatever, because every rumor was absolutely true. So they had to come from the source. But anyhow, so they released the Mavic Mini last Wednesday, and you could pre-order it. So we all kind of figured, we're good now, whatever. But then we find out afterwards that the official release date is the November 11th.
Right.
And it'll be in Best Buy. When the Best Buy opens their doors Monday morning, 11th, it should be on the shelf in there. So what we're trying to figure out in the meantime is, will people pre-order? Will we get ours ahead of the 11th, or will it show up at our door on the 11th?
Okay, well, I can add a little information to that because I went on Best Buy today. And I logged into my account on bestbuy.com and went to my store clicked on Mavic Mini, and it said, you can come here on the 11th and pick it up if you want, to my store that I always go to, the one that's a mile and a half from my house.
Right.
They said, I can come there on the 11th and pick one up if I want.
Right.
I didn't hit the button, but if I want to, I can.
You could pre-order and walk to the store and got it on the 11th.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's a Bill the drone reviewer told. Bill was in here a while ago. Hello, Bill. Bill, if you're still in here, I didn't get to acknowledge it because we were in the middle of important deep conversation.
I said hi to him. He was in here. I saw him.
But anyhow, I think that's his plan. He pre-ordered on Best Buy. He's just going to cruise over there on Monday and pick it up.
I mean, I might do the same thing. I still might do it.
Yeah. Chris,
I even actually went to the Skydio website and I saw that, give us 100 and you can reserve it. But I think the reserve ones now are, if I was to do it now, I wouldn't get it till June.
That's about it.
You guys are going to get yours like in December.
That's exactly right.
Right. So they're already backlogged all the way till June.
Chris
Hope better hire some more people.
He checked his tracking. It still hasn't shipped yet. And that's the same thing I did when Billy Kyle messaged me that he got his. I checked my thing and I still have no tracking number. So, but I think Brian's right though. I may not have a tracking number until I'm a few hours away from getting it.
Yeah.
And that's
you order yours from DJI store?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll come overnight, I'm telling you.
But you think it'll come? You think it'll be there sometime on my doorstep on the 11th?
Okay, so if you ordered it from DJI, they're going to send you an email saying your order has shipped, or you can just go back to their page and see the status.
Right now, it's been processing since Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Well, as soon as the processing's done, they'll ship it and it'll be there the next day.
There's a lot of processing going over there, Brian.
I know. Well, that did processing on my Zino for I couldn't tell you how long. That thing was processing. That thing was processing out its ass. Okay, it was doing the processing.
Did you have a long processing on a FEMI drone too?
Yes, the one that got sent back too. That one.
Yeah, there's a lot of processing. A lot of processing.
Yeah, don't forget that A3 got sent back too.
You had two FEMIs go back.
I had the A3 get returned. I wish I would have never bought it after that. Okay, I haven't flown that thing in 3 or 4 months. But the A3 went back. The white Zino went back. Then I got the white Zino. Then I got the A3. And then the black Zino went back. And then 2 Zino Pros went back. And then I finally got the Zino Pro, which now I wish I wouldn't have bought. So, but it is what it is.
Right, yeah. Right. And you paid the full banana for the Zino Pro, the $399.
No, I got I think it was only $25 off a coupon. Because all I do now with this stuff like these Zinos and these Banggood, I just type into the browser, I typed in Zino Pro code. And then, something will come up. And then you just copy it. And if you paste it in there, if it works, it works. It don't,
Right.
Because they make those codes and they're only valid for so many usages,
Right.
They're not valid forever, Yeah,
well, it looks like the Zino Pro has already fallen to $339 on Banggood and GearBest now. Marcus, I predict
I could update that, Ron, too.
Go ahead, Marcus.
I got an email from Banggood on that 11/11 sale that they talked about.
Right.
So they're going to have it for $315, $314.95, or whatever on 11/11.
Well, Mark, but we have predicted once the Mavic Mini's readily available, it's sitting on the store shelf in Best Buy. You can get it in 2 days from ordering Amazon or DJI. That at that point the Zino Pro will even get cheaper, because why would you pay $399 for the Zino Pro when the Mavic Mini is $399?
Well, did you guys watch the? Believe me, the Mavic Mini is not going to be without a couple of issues. There's going to be some issues here. Okay. Did you see the potato jet video?
I did. I did.
Yeah, he must have. What do you think about that? He either had a defective one or.
Well, I think, and I've seen this in videos, because believe me, I've watched thousands upon thousands of YouTube videos. Okay, when it comes to drones. I think he dropped the signal below, because I noticed this with these quadcopters. If you take the drone below the level of the signal of the transmission signal, sometimes it'll just do what it did. You know what I mean? It loses the signal, because I saw a video 2 years ago. Some guy, he was over in Europe with a Phantom 3, I think it was, and he was trying to go down into a well, a big well, not like one you'd see in a farm. You know, it was a big well.
Oh, that's Drone Seekers. That's Steve Dennett.
Okay, so when he got below the transmission signal here, when he went below, the thing started going on haywire, and he crashed.
Yeah.
So,
you know how he got it out of there?
Well, I watched. He fished it out of there with a fishing line.
Yeah, fishing pole.
Oh,
yeah.
so was that him?
Yeah, that's Steve Dennett. It's Sean's buddy.
Okay, so I watched that video 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Was that on the two Phantoms?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, that was a Phantom 3, I believe it was.
Yeah.
They always flew Phantom 3s.
But and other videos I've seen too, where the drone went below the transmitter. That crazy stuff can happen there. You lose the signal.
And operating a potato jet were also flying at extremely high altitude. Not that I'm saying that makes any difference, but he was at what, like 10,000 feet or something like that, or some crazy altitude. Where, believe me, New Jersey, most of New Jersey is flat as the desert or whatever. I'm not going to be in any. Marcus now can get up at those altitudes.
Probably could. Yeah.
Over the Snake River.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I mean, I'm not putting down as Zino Pro. I guess. Well, I mean, it has 4K, and the Mavic Mini won't have 4K. So if you absolutely have to have 4K, the Mini's not for you. And okay, we've already said the Mini. I mean, the Zino Pro so far, for what we've seen, can't get the range that advertised. But do we know range on the Mavic Mini yet?
4 kilometers.
4 kilometers.
Tested range. Tested
range. Same as the Zino.
Well, tested today. Hey, Kestelou took it out. Crap. I don't know. Long ways. 2 miles or something. He took it way out there.
Okay.
You seen that video that Hey Kestelou put out?
I did not see that one, but I've seen his wind test, and I know it. I early on had my doubts how it would handle in wind, and that's put to rest. Hey took it out in some pretty big wind, and it held its own.
So Josh Parks and Tech is saying 2.6 miles. Floyd is saying 2.4 miles. Floyd, Josh, you guys are gonna have to duke it out. I don't know what to tell you, but it's either 2.6 or 2.4.
Hey, didn't Gorilla Man get one of these?
He did, yeah.
Did he change the name of his channel? Because I can't find
Girl Man's Garage or something like that.
He hasn't been posting anything because he's been moving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I thought he changed the name of his channel.
Hey, look, Floyd compromised. They don't have to duke it out. Floyd compromised at 2.35.
There you go.
See, I like a man can compromise. Floyd, hey, Marcus, Floyd's top man.
He is top man, Floyd.
Top
exactly.
Man.
That's what Sean would say.
That's a Seanism.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I'll be looking forward to seeing Billy Kyle's kind of unboxing review. Now, another thing though, unless Billy got a review, which I don't think he got, the app's not on the on any of the stores yet, not on the iOS store or the Android store. So if you get it, you don't have the app.
Well, listen, I've seen a couple guys that they got a note right in the box, and they open the box, and the note says, "Hey, you won't get the app till the 11th, or maybe later." It says
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, Marcus.
Well, hey, the Anafi did that. When I got the Anafi, there was no app for iOS.
Oh, really?
Because I got the Anafi day one. There was no app. There was no app for iOS. You had to use the Android app.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, and I had to dig the old Android phone out, and I couldn't get a video transmission signal.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. It's a long ago video of mine with the Anafi. It was like my first video outside. I could not see what the hell anything on the screen.
Right.
And it was because it was an Android deal, and I don't know if the phone was old or whatever, but the video signal would not come through. So I just flew it around in this little park, flew great, but the app didn't come out for a few days. I think it was like 5 days after I got the Anafi, the app dropped.
I forgot all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up the Anafi, Brian. I got a story for you, Brian. So I'm flying the Anafi this morning down in Ocean City, Maryland, right near, it's kind of canal. It splits out in Assateague Island, right? So I'm taking the thing up, and it's doing fine, right? It's not that windy, but I'm flying it for like 5 minutes or so, and all of a sudden I get a message on the screen like extreme vibration. They said, check your propellers, right?
Oh my God.
Well, guess what? I just replaced the propellers on like Saturday, the day before. So I must have not tightened one up tight enough or whatever. And it knew it. So I put it down. I didn't have my screwdriver with. I just didn't fly anymore or whatever. I had already got enough video and pictures anyways. But I mean, it knew that I didn't have, the propellers tight. What happened to me is, I'll try to go back to story. I think it was back in August, early September. I took it over to a place where I always fly down at a marina, and I had it around too much metal, and it didn't get a connection right. So it went up about 2 or 3 feet, right? And I realized I didn't have a connection. So I was like, I turned the controller on and off, and it just kind of flipped and fell on the ground. Well, it was like
that's happened to me, not with the Anafi, but with the Bebops.
Okay, but it was my fault. I had too much metal. It was near the car. It was near this fence or whatever. It was all my fault. But anyhow, it just harmlessly like flipped over and fell like 2-3 feet out of the air. Only thing, it cracked one propeller that I had to replace, but all the other propellers had a little bit of like nicks and stuff on them, and I've always meant to replace them. So I finally replaced them on Saturday. I took it up just in a yard or whatever, and it flew much better. So if you have any little nick in propeller, I recommend changing, because the drone flies so much better with perfect props on it. Whatever.
Propellers are very fragile.
Yeah. But again, it was all my fault though. It was nothing to do with the drone. But I was amazed that it knew that I didn't have the. It suspected that I didn't have the props tight enough and warned me. And I brought it, right down when it said that. So I mean, that drone is just it keeps getting updates. The drone is a year, I'm going to say like 15 months old, going on 16 months old. They're still updating it. It's, to me, I know everybody's to say about the Mavic Mini. I don't want to down the Mavic Mini, but if you have an extra $100 or so, I'd probably still get the Anafi.
Oh, that Anafi, it has way more features. The only downside I can say about the Anafi is in urban environments, I have Wi-Fi issues with it where, I get where I lose Wi-Fi, FPV occasionally on it. But I wanted to bring up, and we talked about it before we went live earlier, is if you've got an Anafi and you haven't put it into that racer mode yet, let me tell you, that is more fun than a freaking barrel full of monkeys. It's fast, and it banks just like an airplane. It is really fun.
Well, I'm definitely going to try it this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out.
One time I took my what do you call? I keep wanting to say FPV goggles, but I took my VR goggles out to the field. The VR goggles are ones you can put your phone in, and what the Anafi does is splits the screen in two, so you can put it into a cheap pair of VR goggles to split the screen, and you could fly like kind of fake what do you call it? I keep getting the fake FPV goggles, whatever. But one time I did it, my Anafi battery was dead. I just discovered the Anafi batteries are smart batteries. They'll discharge themselves.
Oh yeah, they discharge. They're smart batteries.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew they discharge themselves.
I've taken mine out to fly it, and I think they discharge in 10 days.
Okay. I thought for that.
Yeah, I think it's 10 days. So yeah, I took mine out, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and then went in there, clicked on them, it's zilch, nothing, So you're kind of screwed when that happens.
So anyways, not that I'm trying to put the Anafi over the Mavic Mini. I know there's a lot of DJI fans out there, and they want to have the latest DJI bird. And, again, I'm not going to tell you the Mini's good, bad, or whatever. I'll wait until I have it or whatever, right?
There's pluses and minuses on all of them.
And did you see why they put it at 249 grams? Why is it 249?
Well, to get underneath the.
Well, I know that, but once you add the SD card, that makes it 250.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Micro SD cards weigh 1 gram.
Hey, I know I've got a lot of Texas people in the audience. The Cowboys just kicked the long field goal, and he took the lead to the New York Football Giants. They're up 13-12 at this point. So I knew Chris Hook made a comment that they weren't winning or whatever. Well, now they are. So,
and there's no bigger Cowboys fan than Ron Brown.
That's the Cowboy.
Yeah.
That's just a fact.
Mark,
It is what it is.
I was going to take Marcus over to the game when we were down for spin up, but I decided to give the tickets to Jerry Jones instead.
Your buddy Jerry, huh?
When you make me laugh, I start coughing. Holy cow!
We were there that night, Marcus. We could have gone over to see the Eagles Cowboys game.
Yeah. Hey, the coolest stadium I've ever seen though was that Texas State Stadium. Holy cow! That thing was amazing. Did you ever go downtown, Ron, when you were in Austin?
No. You were impressed.
Oh my God, that thing holds over 100,000 people. I mean,
Texas Tech.
It was a monster.
Yeah.
The Longhorns.
Oh yeah, University of Texas. Yeah.
University of Texas. Yeah.
Big school. Hey guys, we got Jay Bird drone in here. Bird, he's the guy that posted one of the first Zino Pro videos we saw. Remember, Marcus? It was
the first one I ever saw.
He posted footage of it. Thanks for posting that video.
Hey, Ron.
I went back to that area, by those old factories, and that FEMI X8 lost them satellites again over there. So really? I'm not going to, even though I went and did the update and everything and took it over there, did the same thing as it did last time. So I think it's just that area. There's something about that spot.
Yeah.
The FEMI X8 don't like. Because when I took it over to that other park, I went way out there, 15, 1600, no problem, no dropping of satellites. But when I got right back over there by that old train tracks and all that stuff, started doing the same exact thing.
So the dead zone.
Okay, Ron. So you brought up the Anafi as opposed to the Mavic Mini for $400, and you can buy that for $430. You can buy that FEMI X8 SE all day now off of one of the Chinese websites. Man, oh man, $430. That is a fast, powerful drone. And just like the Zino, they have upgraded it. Man, it flies really good now, and the camera's really good on it. Some of the automated modes are a little bit wonky. Dustin Dunhill just flew it again here the other day, did a revisit, and he had trouble with the follow me on it and stuff. But other than that, it is and I've taken that thing out. You talk about going out distance, out over Lucky Peak Reservoir. I went out over 2 miles with that thing.
So what you're saying, Marcus, if you had $400 laying around and size didn't matter to you, size was no importance.
No, that's right, exactly.
You would get the FEMI, but
I think I would.
But if you needed a compact, lightweight drone, the Anafi is more of a competitor especially in the lightweightness and the quietness. We don't know how quiet the Mini is. Nobody's talked about whether. I mean, we saw somebody do this. Who did the sound test for the? I'm sorry, your coffee. Who did that big sound test of all the drones. They compared the Mini to all the DJI drones.
Yeah, that was what's his name? Gosh darn, I can't remember his name. But yeah, that's a great video where he compared them all.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, it was FlyPath.
FlyPath, yeah.
Yeah.
That Hawaiian dude, I think, right? Isn't he in Hawaii or something?
Well, speaking of Dustin.
No, I know Dustin, but I thought he was in Hawaii too.
Oh, FlyPath? I think he's in Southern Cal. I don't know for sure. Brian.
I actually thought he was Hawaiian. FlightPath.
Maybe. But anyhow, I don't think in his testing, I don't think the Mavic Mini was especially that more quiet than some of the other drones.
It was quieter, but not by that much. The Anafi is I'm sure Bryan would agree. The Anafi is the quietest drone I own by far.
Right. Nothing can touch that.
Yeah.
For noise. Nothing.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing on the market that's even close to that.
Yep.
So.
And did you find it interesting that Skydio picked the Anafi controller to be their controller for their drone, Bryan?
Yes, I did.
So
because it's a nice controller, it has a real nice feel to it. I love it.
Hey,
I love it.
So Bryan, I meant to tell you. Remember, I was talking about this guy right here that straps onto the neck of the Anafi.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Don't get it. It's a piece of yeah. It what happens is it won't stay snapped. It'll keep coming loose on you, and you know that's no good.
Well, you know what else I found out is a piece of junk? Is that microphone adapter for the Osmo Action. That thing is a piece of crap.
Oh, is it?
After messing with that thing for a few weeks, I mean, if you go look at the reviews, even from all the big reviewers like Air Photography and some of these other ones, they're sitting there acting like it's working, but it don't work. And everybody in the comments is saying, hey, it sounds better just without the thing. And then I just went, you remember yesterday, the video where I was doing with that new app, I went into Best Buy. Well, I bought that $50 powered microphone because people keep telling me, oh, try a powered mic. It'll be better. Try a powered mic. So I went and freaking spent $50 on one, and it doesn't work any bit better.
Oh, really?
You know, that is not a DJI product. They just let that company sell that product on their website.
Yeah.
They don't even endorse the product because they're still saying they have their own still coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know why DJI even let that product go on their website when it really isn't any good. You know?
Yeah, it's not good.
No,
Hey, I want to acknowledge we got the Third Eye View in here, and we have Dennis in here since last updated. So we got a couple more people. We got Matthew just joined us. He's confirming it was FlyPath that did the sound test. But I want Bryan just brought up the app. The app he's discussing is the app called Mixcam. All three of us downloaded. I think we've all made a video. Marcus, you've made a Facebook video. You've made a YouTube video on it.
No, I just used it for a quick Facebook video, and that was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I finished mowing the lawn and installing the plow on my four-wheeler, and I was so proud of myself I had to do a video.
Well, what we said Mixcam is, if anybody doesn't know, Mixcam is an app for it's on. I believe it's only iOS at this point, so you have to have an iPhone. But what it does, it utilizes the camera on the back of your phone and the front-facing camera, so it can film you, and also it can see what you're seeing or whatever, and you get both those things at the same time. It can work in profile or landscape, and it records, and then you can do whatever you want to send it to Facebook, YouTube, or whatever, keep it or whatever. And it records audio. It only records at 1080p, not 4K, but the 1080p looks great. And the app's free, but Bryan has discovered if you pay $2.99, you can get rid of the Mixcam, like what do you call it, watermark in the bottom of the corner.
Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah, I paid the $2.99.
It's like you guys said, it's well worth the $2.99 for the app. The developer's done a real good job. I've used it many times. I haven't seen it crash. They had a rival app that kind of did the same thing, but I tried it, and I forget the name right now, but it crashed. I lost video, and it's updated since, so it may be better now, but when I used it, it was unreliable where Mixcam was reliable. But if anybody wants to do, like when you're walking along or talking or whatever, I mean, it's such a neat little app, and I've even used it on my Zino 3-axis gimbal, and then it's real smooth on that thing. But just walk along holding it, it works fine too.
Hey, Ron, you know what the biggest takeaway of that particular app is that I discovered? I discovered that Bryan's Best Buy looks just like mine.
That's a good Best Buy. I love my Best Buy.
It's just like mine.
The
shelves looked a little empty at your Best Buy, Bryan.
They got their stuff in there. I see DJI restocked everything.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell was going on with them with letting all their stock on all their products. Now the Spark is gone. There is no more Spark. That's gone.
Right.
That's even gone from the website.
Right. Right.
Okay, so they're never bringing that back.
Right. But that's
history.
Here's my question. I'm going to review them head to head when I get in it. Is the Mini really? If you we'll do this like we did with the Zino and Zino Pro. If you own a Spark, is it any reason to go out for spend $399 and get this?
There's plenty of reason, because the Spark doesn't have any flight time. The batteries suck.
Good point.
Well,
my Spark hardly goes past 10 minutes.
Right.
Good point.
Okay. And supposedly, you know, and I don't believe any of these flight time things. They all lie about that. You know, we're talking pristine. I mean, look at that one I did last week with that Mantis. Okay, you go to Unique's website. They advertise 33 minutes. What did I get, Marcus? 17.
Yeah, 17. Yeah.
And I wasn't like beating it around. I was just flopping around in the park, you know, doing this couple little flight modes, and I wasn't no sport mode stuff or anything like that. I got 17 minutes, which is okay. Like I said, it's okay, but it's not 33. And then, of course, you know, I had people in the comments doing that. Well, you know, it's got to be, you didn't do it right, and this, you hovered too much and all that. I don't want to hear all that shit. Okay? I don't want to hear all that.
Right, right.
You know, it's not 33. Okay, period. It's 17.
Close. Yeah.
So, I mean, you're not just going to go out there in zero gravity at 1% humidity. Who's doing that? Right?
Right.
Okay, nobody's doing that. So they ought to actually do real world when they tell you these flight times. It should not be this optimal conditions and all this mumbo freaking jumbo. They just should tell you the truth. Okay, that's what they should do.
Right.
But they don't. None of them do. DJI included.
If I take it out to my local park and I fly on, I don't know, like, you know, a little bit of a breeze blowing or whatever, then what's the flight time then?
Right. And there's always wind blowing somewhere. Okay.
Right.
It's never like completely windless. There's always at least a couple of miles an hour wind blowing somewhere.
I get one windless day a year in New Jersey.
Yeah, right. And I get 2 days a year where it sun shines.
High Kesteloo did a flight time video too, but I haven't watched it yet with the Mini, so I'm not sure.
You guys know Kenny Cardoza, right? You follow his channel. I know you
the
do.
Great Kenny the King.
The king of video. But anyhow, what his complaint is, I hate to say complaint, is that the Mavic Mini doesn't have any real camera settings on. All it is auto, where the Spark has, you could do exposures and bracketing and so on. So the Spark has more advanced camera features than the Mini does.
Yeah. But it's got 2.7K, which iMovie doesn't even recognize. So,
yeah, I mean,
somebody said that. Yeah, iMovie doesn't even recognize it. That was me. I told you that.
Okay. So now I know. Yeah.
Now you know more.
I mean, you hear a lot of people going on about 4K, but nobody ever says they want to look for 2.7K videos. I mean, so I know more definition here.
Right.
And when you downgrade, it's going to look better. But does anybody really?
Well, what I'm going to do when I get the Mavic Mini, because, you know, of course I'm going to buy it, but I'm going to just shoot the videos in 2.7K and up-res them to 4K. That's all.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm not going to downgrade them to 1080p. I'll just up-res them to 4K.
Well, you know, people tell all these stories that if you take 1080p, I mean, if you take 4K or 2.7K, you down-res it to 1080p, it looks better at 1080p.
It does look better.
You shot it in 1080p.
It looks absolutely. It looks better. It absolutely looks better. If you shoot in 4K, downgrade it to 1080p, it looks a lot better. A lot better. Than you shot it in 1080p.
Part text saying 1080p 60. And what drone is that, Josh?
The Zino Pro does 1080p 60.
Okay, right. Okay.
I don't know if the Zino Non-Pro does, but the Zino Pro does.
What about the Zino Mini? I mean, well, okay. What about the Mavic Mini? We'll do 10.
Zino Mini.
Yeah, Zino Mini.
Hey, maybe they should come out with the Zino Mini.
Yeah.
How about this, Marcus? When will they come out with the Mavic Mini Pro? That'll have 4K.
Yeah, but just ask Bill. He'll tell you.
Yeah, Bill's on the case already.
Right. He's on it, man. Believe me.
Yeah.
He's got Austin live on speed dial and his little cousin too.
Got all the courses lined up.
Right.
And the Mavic 3, of course.
Right. And Phantom 5. I still see whenever I go watch one of Bill's videos to this day, if you go watch one of his videos, go down and just scroll through all the comments, okay? Right. And you'll sit there and you'll find somebody will still go on there and go, Bill, what about the Phantom 5? When's that dropping? They'll still ask him. They'll sit there and ask. These people just sit around here and worry about this shit. They're still asking about that. People still go on his videos and comment, where's the Phantom 5, Bill? I can't wait. Where is it?
So we pretty much come and remember the big rumors and not just Bill, but a whole bunch of people. Hey, Castle, they were for sure that sometime in the fall, and it's still the fall, that DJI is going to make another round of what Phantom 4 Pro V.2s.
Oh, that rumor's been going around.
Never happened.
Months. They would put them back in stock. I didn't see any at my Best Buy. All I saw was they had the Mavic 2 Pro, the Platinum edition of the Mavic Pro. And they had the Mavic Air. They've restocked them, but the Phantoms are gone and the Sparks are gone. They've gone. We're not bringing them back.
Yeah. Ryan, which Phantoms do you have? Do you have the 3?
I just have the Phantom 3 and the Phantom 1.
Got you.
Yeah. And believe me, I love my Phantom or whatever. It was a great drone, but I mean, like, even if they came out with a new one, I'd still rather have just the whatever the current Mavic is.
I don't know, Scott. Scott's asking about the Mavic 3. Who knows? I'm sure it's coming out.
So the rumor is that the Mavic 3 is going to have the Hasselblad camera with optical zoom. Well, that kind of makes sense, I guess. But the thing is, I don't believe anybody even knows that it really exists. So,
I think that DJI, the only reason they dropped that Mavic zoom was because of the Autel and the Anafi.
I agree.
If it wasn't for them two making those cameras with the zoom, they would not have even made the Mavic zoom. They would have just made the Mavic 2 Pro.
I agree. Remember,
but they had to get in there and get some of that market with the zoom shit. Even though theirs does zoom nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice.
It does.
You see what Floyd says here, guys? Look at the chat. I love it.
I mean, let me highlight.
That's good.
Oh,
that's classic Floyd. I love it.
But Brian's right. Remember, DJI was going to release the Mavic 2 in mid-July, and at the last minute, they canceled their big announcement and moved to the end of August to give them about 6 weeks to pop a zoom camera on the Mavic 2.
Yeah, so they could have 2 models because they knew there'd be some diehards out there that would buy both,
and a lot of them did.
Yeah.
Well, now hold it. Josh had the best solution,
right?
So this,
he's the only one I've ever seen do that.
Yeah, and he says it only takes him about 5 minutes to switch it. So just for everybody in the chat, Parks and Tech, Josh, he bought, I can't remember if he started with a Pro or a Zoom, but whatever it was, he bought the other camera on eBay, and he says it literally takes him about 5 minutes to switch.
That camera wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
It wasn't like some kind of cheap-ass camera. Yeah, we're not talking about a SEMA thing here. This is, you're probably dropping 500 or more on that thing.
If I wish Josh would have came to Spin Up this year, I'd have talked to Kelly and got him in the presenter thing, and I'd love to see him do that in stage in front of the Spin Up audience. Wouldn't that have been cool, Marcus?
Well, only if he'd do it in his Joker costume.
Yeah, right.
Joker.
Well, maybe he could have went there and showed Kelly how to fly a Zino.
There you go. Brian, you're saying that, but Ron and I screwed up because the day of the presentation, he gave us a Zino. So he gave Ron and I a Zino. And what I should have done if I'd have been thinking is charge it all up at the hotel that night. And the next day we had a fly-in. I should have flown it that day, and
and make Kelly fly and get it on tape.
I didn't even think of it. I just didn't even occur to me.
Because you know that Heron flew that stick.
Yeah, right.
Whatever.
Yeah. Marcus, you sold yours, right?
I did. Yeah, I sold a lot of.
Buy another one.
We didn't tell Scott. We didn't tell Scott that.
Don't worry about Scott. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Exactly.
He's got a nice government pension. He'll be okay. Trust me. He'll survive it.
Yeah.
Well, time for the big event of the show, guys. Let's do the unboxing over here of maybe the Mavic Mini.
Well, let's see this maybe Mavic Mini, and maybe not.
It was at my doorstep today when I came home, and it has this battery logo in here, so you know it's some kind of a battery device.
I have a feeling it starts with high boxing.
It is a GPS drone.
Oh, it's a drone. Snaptane.
Oh, I wanted to take mine out yesterday, Ron, but it was too windy.
The SP500, foldable drone with GPS, 1080p HD camera, GPS mode, waypoints, point of interest, follow me mode, gestures for photo and gestures. Even the Mavic Mini doesn't have gestures, only the Spark does.
I never use gestures. I don't care for gestures.
Before.
That's the gestures I use for the drones here.
Return home. Attitude mode. Look, you can put this attitude mode.
Yeah.
Headless mode, and it's foldable. Age 14 order. So I can cancel my Mavic Mini order now.
You can.
This has all the features and more.
Just send it to me, Ron. I'll send you a Zino Pro.
Look at this nice box. Oh, look at this, the way the thing comes off. This is very nice.
Oh, Snaptane is the best toy quadcopter packaging there is.
Look at that handle. Look, I wonder if that had. Look at that. I think it has a 3-axis gimbal in it.
Yeah, it does.
Does it really?
No.
Oh, I was going to say it. I was like, wow.
It's half an axis.
There you go. Yeah.
It's like a 1-axis, but you got to move it with your finger, so that makes it half an axis.
Kind of like the H78G that I flew today, huh?
Yeah, the 878G is going to be similar probably to what Ron's sporting there.
Got ya.
It's probably going to be around the same. But I think the H78G is going to have a longer flight time. I think the battery was bigger in there. That's that the SP500 has 1,000 milliamp hour battery, but they give you 2. So
I was gonna say, the other Snaptane they gave me 2. This one with the camera doesn't work.
Oh, that thing.
The 6.6.
Now, I did my review for that one.
Yeah.
And I told the lady, I sent her an email. I said, hey, listen, Jane, because she's a real sweetheart. Okay.
Yeah.
I said, listen, Jane, this thing's a piece of shit. Okay. I said, I made the video. It flew like crap. Jay Drone, now his flew good, but Dan, Drone Worship, his flew like shit, like mine. It had like a 35-foot range and it would just drop out.
Wow.
And I think there was another guy, his flew like crap, but Jay seemed to have a decent one.
And
she told me, or she didn't tell me, she asked me not to post the video.
Wow.
She said they're going to send me another one.
Okay.
And then I'll test that one, and if it's okay, I'll put the video out. But
yep.
I actually have the video still, but it's set on private.
My flew okay for a toy quadcopter. I mean, I do a range test, but I flew at a little ball field, and I flew all around the ball field.
Well, when I was flying mine along with Dan, because they sent him one too. Every time I would go out like 35, 40 feet, it would just lose the bind.
Oh wow!
And that's not even far. That's real close. Actually, anything should fly 35 or 40 feet.
Right.
So,
hey,
it just didn't happen,
Not to change the subject too far, but Ron, I know you wanted to touch on the Skydio with the issue that there were a lot of people up in arms about the email that we got that said that it wouldn't be here until the end of November or the first week of December, I think it said.
Mhm.
And boy, there were people that just went nuts over that and were all up in arms. I don't know. I'm just thinking a new drone, at least they're communicating with us. And they only made us give them $100 deposit. It's not like they took our whole purchase price.
Here's what I think about that, even though I didn't order one. Okay. And I thought that this might happen. They are not going to let that thing leave unless they absolutely positively know. They cannot afford for this thing to bomb.
Right.
They cannot afford for 3,000 people to get one of these and it fall out of the sky. Okay, this can't happen.
Like the GoPro.
This could send the company right in the toilet.
Right.
Okay. So they have to be absolutely positive that this thing is going to be right. So believe me, they are probably testing this thing. So it might be a little bit later, until they are absolutely dead certain positive.
But Bryan,
I just don't think the company could afford
yeah.
to take ship out 3,000, 4,000 of these things, and everybody says, "Oh, I got to send it back because it crashed, it fell out of the sky, the battery fell out, blah 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 blah." All this, they cannot let that happen.
Yeah.
They just can't.
It's a good point.
There's going to be a little delay. There's going to be a little delay, which I thought might happen.
And they're hand building them, right? So
they only have one.
All these drones are built by hand. I was watching a video of them building the what are those splash drones? Those ones that go in the water.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, they're all put together by hand. They got to solder those little motor wires and all. They're all built by hand.
Yeah.
There's no automation going on with putting these drones together.
Right. But no, I agree with you, Bryan. They only got one chance to get this right.
Right. They got one chance to get this right. They don't get this right, the company's gone.
Right. And let me give a little background on the email we received. I'm going to say it was like last Wednesday. It was the night I went on Coast to Coast Drones. They sent the letter and they said once you receive your email that it's shipping, then you have 10 days to complete the payment and decide whether you want to get it, which controller you want, if any controller, and any accessories you want, and then after that you will get a tracking number. But they may, again, they didn't say a date, but it made it sound like it was at the earliest it was shipped would be the very last days of November. So nobody will probably get one until December. I mean, not a real paying customer. And again, it alarmed a lot of people. I've heard comments, "Oh, it's already in delay," and and so on. But when a company, especially a tech company, promises a product in a month, whatever month they say, November, December, if they promise November, I take that. I may be a glass half full guy, but when they say November, I'm assuming that means the last day of November 30th. I'm assuming they mean the last day of the month. I never assume that means the first day or
Right.
the 15th day. I assume that means the very last day of the month. And that's for any big tech company.
Hey, Ron, so I have that letter open right now. So what they said exactly was, we expect to start shipping in late November in the order that the reservations were placed, and production batch 1 shipments will continue into December. So there it is. I mean, so potentially it could be Christmas before you get it.
And let me translate. Late November means the final day. That means the 30th.
So then when Marcus gets his on December 31st, he's going to have to hop in his car and drive down to Arizona, okay, because where he's at is probably going to be 50 below zero.
Dude, my younger brother lives in Phoenix, so that's perfect. I get a direct flight, man.
Well, no, Bryan, there's no worries. All he has to do is get his car out and put it in follow me mode. He can stay in a nice warm car and just have it follow him all over, Meridian.
There you go.
Until that 30-degree weather makes that battery magnet dislodge. And
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Ken Dono says that's the best battery he's ever seen.
I know. I saw that. I watched that whole video. Did you see that big green monster? I commented to him. I said, "Man, I bet you that green thing was at least 10 grand." He said it was 30.
Holy cow!
Yeah, he said that thing was like 30 grand for that drone.
Wow.
Holy tamale.
Hey, so 3X Drones is making a good point here. He goes, I'm waiting to see the videos of people trying to crash it. And they will. And you know what else? They should, because the thing is supposed to be, to be able
I wonder
to
who's going to get the first crash video of this Skydio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Marcus Crawford.
So Josh is saying follow that Corvette, but the top speed of the Skydio is like 36 miles an hour. Trust me, the Corvette will do that even lower than first gear. I mean, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay,
anyway,
guys. I said we're going to be out tonight. I've been on the road all day. Brian's been working hard all day. Marcus is recovering from the worst cold in the history of Utah. So we're going to wrap this show up. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We had a great chat tonight.
But I wasn't in Utah.
Pardon?
I wasn't in Utah.
Oh, Idaho.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. My bad. I'm such a hurry to get out of the show here. I'm messing up states. Oh, Utah is one of my favorite states. I guess how that got thrown in there. But again, I want to thank all the great people joining us in chat tonight. We had a great conversation tonight, and we got Brian joined us. He filled us in on the new Zino Pro. We got some buying advice on it. So I think we shared a lot of good information. I'll throw it to my co-host Marcus Crawford for his final thoughts, so he could throw it to Brian, and we'll be out of here.
Yeah, so we covered a lot of territory, I think, in a pretty short time, and that really, Brian, I appreciate what your comments about the Zino Pro, because that's going to save some people some money, and I was kind of feeling that way, but you saying it just tells me now that, if they put that drone on sale for $250, maybe I'll buy one. But other than that, I'm not going to worry about it till the Zino 2 comes out. But that's about it. Brian, what are your final thoughts tonight?
My final thoughts are for anybody that didn't come in when I gave my little spiel on the Zino Pro. It's just not worth the money to upgrade. It's just not. Unless you're into doing range tests, which I'm not. I never do. It's just not worth having. It flies identically to the regular Zino. There's no difference in the way they fly. There's no difference that I see in the video quality. It has the advantage of upgrading through the app. That's an advantage. The weight is identical. They're just identical other than this transmission signal from the transmitter to the bird. That's the only difference that I see, other than like Phillips screws for the props and flat screws for the other props, but everything else is identical. So I don't see any difference in the characteristics of the flight or the flight modes. Uses the same app. There's no special flight modes for it. It's the same stuff, the follow me, the waypoints, the orbit, all that stuff's all the same. It flies the same. There's no difference at all. So if 1 kilometer is good enough for you, just keep the regular Zino. If you need to go fly 4 kilometers, get this, but you're not going to make it anyway, so it doesn't matter. The battery's going to run out before you get there. So
right.
So forget about it.
Which we all suspect. We all suspect that would be
who's that, Jaybird? The battery is identical. I showed that in my video. I held them up. It's the 11.4, 3,000 milliamp hour. The same identical battery. You could take the battery out of one, slip it in the other one. It doesn't matter. It's the same identical battery. So that's it, man. That's it.
Brian, thanks for the thoughts and that buying advice. I mean, that's why we have you in True Drone Reviews. You give it to it straight. You don't sugarcoat it or whatever like some of the guys do.
That damn Mavic Mini better be good.
It better be.
We're going to rip it, right?
I'll tear that thing a new one.
Yeah, if it's not good.
I'm telling you, and I told this to, I think it was John Cuppy last week. I said, look, I don't care. I still think that thing is going to feel cheap. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh no, they already said it does.
It does? Does it feel cheap?
Yeah, who was it was saying? I think it was Ready Set Drone said, "Hey, it feels like a little toy drone."
Okay, because I told, and then company said, "Oh no, it's DJI quality." I said, "Look, there's nothing in the world that's 249 grams going to feel like it's got high build quality.
Yeah,
it's going to have to feel cheap."
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It has to feel cheap.
Yeah.
Okay. So on that note, on the feel cheap note, we're out of here, guys. Thanks again for joining us today, Bryan. We really appreciate you having on with us. And we'll see you guys next week for episode, what, Marcus, 29?
Big 29 next time.
Big 29 next week. So good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And we got to come up with our own saying, like fly safe or something, right?
Some stuff. Yeah.
Have fun. Yeah. So, good night.
Good night.